From the Fantasy Armchair, it is the Fantasy TyRant.
Hey there, fellow fantasy football freaks. Welcome back to the Fantasy Armchair. You know the drill by now. Do the things that help me, and I'll do the thing that helps you by going over my top 200. This time we're going to be talking about players 111 through 140. By now in the draft, you've been filling out your teams nicely, as long as you've been paying attention to the series anyway. But now we're heading to the back end of the draft. This is where you can find value players that you can stash on your bench, and then when it's their time to shine, and everyone's looking for them on the waiver wire, you've already got them. And that's why you watch this show, to figure out who those guys are and get ahead of your league. Now, because we're at the end of the draft, I'm not going to spend so much time talking about the players, but I promise you I'll deliver the necessary information so you can make the right decisions in your draft. So let's get started. Here's the next page of my top 200. Not much on the left side for some reason. I mean, some people like Jakobi Meyers higher, and I could see reason for that, but I just think that the offense will be awful. Devontae Adams will demand more attention, and other additions like rookie tight end Brock Bowers will take targets away from Myers. Maybe he doesn't drop off this much, but I'd rather draft upside than chase numbers from previous seasons that I know won't pan out. That being said, he's still being drafted even lower than I have him on average. Hence, no red arrow, but, just a side note. Rico Dowdle is going to be handling a lot more of the Cowboys' running game than people seem to be anticipating. There's even scuttlebutt about a possible committee, and I already covered this topic in my running back sleepers video, so check that out for more. Just know that he's going outside the top 40, and that splitting touches at running back in a potent offense should carry more value than that. Check out the running back sleepers video for more. Brock Bowers is being taken as the tight end 11 with the 91st pick of the draft. Have we not learned our lesson about drafting rookie tight ends? Yeah, I know, Sam Laporta, but this dude ain't no Sam Laporta. He's gonna be a top 10, maybe even top 5 tight end in fantasy, eventually. But tight ends always take a few years to develop. You'll take this guy to be your tight end 1, and when he doesn't do shit the first few games, you call him a bust and move on. No, he's not a bust, but it's very rare for tight ends to make a big impact in year 1. Especially on a lousy offense. He's also got another promising young tight end in Mike Mayer to contend with. So he's coming into his rookie season on a shit-ass team with another young tight end vying for his job, a beat-up foot, competing with one of the best wide receivers in the game, and other established players for targets from Gardner Minshew. And this is supposed to get me excited to start him as a tight end in my fantasy league? Yeah, right. I'm about as excited as Homer Simpson at church. He's going ahead of guys like Dallas Goedert and Pat Freiermuth, and that's just crazy. He's wicked talented and will be a force to be reckoned with eventually. But not every rookie tight end is Sam Laporta. The vast majority aren't. And considering the offense he's in and who he's been competing with, I feel pretty good about skipping Bowers this season. Aaron Rodgers seems to be staving off the inevitable. He's past his prime and may not even be close to his old self. Word out of training camp is that Rodgers is struggling, looking sluggish, inaccurate, out of focus. Maybe he pulls it together in time for the regular season, or maybe he's in the senior spring of his career. By that I mean he's kind of just phoning it in and getting paid. It's been a circus with this guy ever since he got to New York. Maybe he can retire and do a podcast with Alex Jones and Joe Rogan. That would be a hoot. In all seriousness, I can't trust he'll be usable in fantasy as nothing more than a bye-week filler in Superflex leagues, but name recognition seems to be a factor still, as in drafts, he's going as the QB 18. I think he drops out of the top 20, and maybe off the damn planet if he gets hurt again. The pieces are there for the Jets, but Rodgers seems to be more of a headache than they bargained for. I just think this is the beginning of the end, and it's gonna get weird. Elon Musk weird. Nick Chubb I talked about when I talked about Jerome Ford in the last video. Yeah, he could come back week 5 as an aging veteran, coming off a torn MCL and ACL, and recovering from 2 surgeries with a more than serviceable substitute in his spot. But at that point, I doubt the Browns are in a hurry to bring him back. They'd rather save him in case of a playoff push they likely aren't going to get. I've seen Chubb go in the 6th round in some drafts, but more typically in round 8. Still though, this is way too high for a guy that likely won't be a major factor for at least the first half of the season. He's going 14 spots before Ford, and I think that's wishful thinking. Even if he comes back week 5, Chubb will take a while before he's acclimated back to the NFL schedule, and the Browns won't want to push him back. Ford allows them the luxury of not having to do so. They can afford to ease Chubb back in.
That's what she said.
As they should. Great for Ford owners, bad for Chubb owners. I'm not touching Chubb with the 10-inch pole. 10-foot pole. Let the dumb shit in your league think he's getting a steal and take him instead. Tyler Allgeier. I mean, what can I say about this guy?
You know, he's like a turd that won't flush.
Exactly. When the Falcons drafted Bijan Robinson, the collective fantasy community did a spit take. Tyler Allgeier had a decent rookie season, rushing for over 1,000 yards, breaking into the top 30. He would have done better if he had more than 3 touchdowns, but the sudden emergence of Cordero Patterson in that offense helped put a wrench in those works, but he was still a promising young back. Then the next season, the Falcons go best guy available in the draft and take what many were calling a generational running back in Bijan Robinson. And in his rookie season, he ended up as the RB9. The only problem was Allgeier actually improved his numbers last season, taking touches away from Bijan, and actually scored 4 touchdowns, the same as Robinson. So now we think, oh, Arthur Smith's out of the picture, he's in Pittsburgh, and the RB situation will pan out to be more of a traditional starter backup role. But no, Falcons coaching staff has been talking up Allgeier all offseason, saying that he's going to have a major role in the offense once again. This will stick like a thorn in the side of Robinson owners, but if you can get Allgeier at the end of your draft, you have at least a viable flex option in good matchups and bye weeks. And if something should happen to Bijan, you could have a solid RB2 or better out of nowhere. He's currently ranked as the running back 49, 148th player off the board, so you could basically get him for free. He's going below the likes of J.K. Dobbins, Ty Chandler, and Antonio Gibson, which is unfathomable. Are you all watching the same damn football I am? Or am I watching some weird alternative broadcast from some other dimension? Good Lord. Stop sleeping on Allgeier, because he ain't going away. Well, there you go, folks, and hey, next episode's a twofer, so we're going to be done after that. It's the last part of the 6-part series, and I thank you all for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, all that stuff, hitting that bell so you don't miss these episodes. And I thank you all so much for your love and support. Hey, don't forget to check out the Patreon link down there in the description. For as little as $5 a month, you get one-on-one fantasy advice to help you crush your league. The final 60 spots will be revealed in my next video. In fact, it's probably already dropped, but if not, just wait, it's coming. Anyway, I'll see you there. Until then, I'm out. Peace.